no, don't look at me. Look over there. Ha! That is the Lucid Air Sapphire, and it's the triple motor nightmare for Elon Musk. And the one question that everyone wants answered is, will it finally unseat that f***ing Tesla Model S Plaid as the quickest accelerating production car of all time? Meh. What I want to know is, will it unseat the quickest accelerating gasoline-powered production car of all time, 1,500 horsepower Bugatti Chiron Pur Sport? And there's the little boy on his bike. Sit up. Listen, Josh Haren, the last time I was here, I told you I was going to bring really quick cars. You think your little toy can keep up with the big boys? 35 years ago, when most of the German auto industry made an agreement to limit their cars to 155 miles an hour so that wide open sections of Autobahn would be safer, the fastest car in the world could accelerate to 116 in the quarter mile. Within just a quarter of a mile, each of the cars here can get to that 155 mile an hour German speed limit. Hell, they can all do 60 miles an hour by the time they get to the end of your driveway. Literally. Cars as fast as the Tesla Model S Plaid can get you kicked out of a drag strip for not having a roll cage, a full-face helmet, competition license, or even parachute. Okay, these cars aren't just fast. Racing against other cars is like racing a stealth bomber against a tricycle. The last time we raced a Plaid, we included a BMW M5 and gave it a 70 mile an hour starting advantage. And the Tesla still won. But the Lucid Air Dream Edition didn't. And so we're back with an engineering prototype Lucid Air Sapphire. This is mechanically identical to the car that's about to go into production. So if the Lucid loses here today, well, the Lucid engineering team loses their job. With an additional rear motor, 1,200 plus horsepower, and grippy Michelins, the Sapphire can finally go head-to-head with the triple motor, 1,020 horsepower Tesla Model S Plaid. They both get to race the speed and horsepower champion. And look, nothing comes close to a Bugatti. Not in price, not in engineering, and certainly not in opulence. This is a Chiron Pur Sport, which means it has a fixed wang. It also has Cup 2R tires, no sound deadening, and shortened gear ratios, to say nothing of the 1,479 horsepower. So now we race. Oh, we're gonna have a winner. This is gonna be a production car world record, because that is a 9.1. And keep in mind, this isn't a treated surface like you'd see at a drag strip. This is just regular old asphalt. The last time we raced a Lucid versus a Tesla, the Lucid was 8 car lengths behind. Now it's 3 in front. And you wouldn't have thought that going from 1,111 horsepower in the Lucid Air to 1,200 plus in the Sapphire would have made that much of a difference. But it did, and it's all about traction and torque at the rear wheels. At these levels of acceleration, so much weight is shifted rearward that the front wheels aren't really contributing that much. In the Dream Edition, that meant the rear motor was maxed out, but the front motor was reducing its output to avoid wheel spin. Adding a second motor to the rear means the Sapphire now has enough power at the back that it can take full advantage of all of the traction it has at the rear, meaning it's maxing out all 4 tires. This is despite the Plaid having that cheetah mode thing where it rears back on its haunches for a better launch. But the fact is, the Model S Plaid just doesn't have enough torque to keep up. Haha! When was the last time you heard anyone say that? When was the last time you saw a 3-car race where a Plaid came in DFL? Though I have to give it credit, it finished 6.5 feet behind a $4 million 8-liter, 16-cylinder, 4-turbocharged monster. Pretty close. If you think the Chiron's slow 0 to 60 is because it's slow off the line, oh, think again. It's violent. The thing revs the engine, dumps the clutch, and does a 4-wheel burnout. It's brutal. But it all comes down to traction control. An internal combustion engine can be adjusted in its output maybe a couple times a second. But an electric motor can go from full power to nothing 1,000 times a second. And that's what gives these things an advantage. The only reason the Chiron didn't win this race outright is this race wasn't long enough. Trust me, keep your foot in it long enough and that thing will leave the 2 EVs for dead. And then it runs out of gas. But it's probably faster than the jet that it costs more than. Well, it's settled then. 2 5-passenger sedans can beat or tie the world-beating carbon-tubbed 8-liter 16-cylinder quad-turbo French king of speed. So as far as quarter-mile drags go, I guess this was the final nail in the coffin for internal combustion. Holy shit, no it's not. We brought that motorcycle. Holy poop indeed. Because the last time we raced a car against the Ducati Panigale V4 SP2, it was against a Corvette Z06, and the bike left the car for dead. But MotoAmerica Supersport champion Josh Heren thought there was a little more left in the bike. So Ducati has come back with some suspension tweaks and clear guidance from corporate. Do not be easy on the clutch. Beat that Lucid for the lure of gasoline. Hope you appreciate just how completely insane this is. Today we have a Tesla, a Bugatti, and a Ducati all running a 9.3 second quarter. And to get that, Josh dumped the Ducati's clutch at over 10,000 RPM. That was just the beginning. Watch the front wheel as it skims the pavement practically the whole way down the track. This was the limit. As fast as this 210 horsepower motorcycle can possibly accelerate without going ass over tea kettle. And yet, a 5-passenger luxury sedan beat it. Lucid's 1,000 Hz traction control worked overtime practically the whole way down the track. At the line, both the Lucid and the Ducati were over that 155 mile an hour mark where the Germans said, enough is enough. And that happened in just 1,320 feet, not on a wide open stretch of Autobahn. Oh, this is a good time to stop and reflect. Because the sun went down and the track is closed. But really, we're at the limit. If you added more power to any of these cars, they certainly wouldn't have been any quicker to 60, and really wouldn't have been any quicker through the quarter mile. And now that Bugatti and Rimac are the same company, you can expect the Chiron's replacement to also be electric, which will then start a whole new chapter in speed. Speed may not be everything, but it's certainly something. And today that something is the Lucid Air Sapphire, which is the quickest production car we've ever seen. You couldn't even keep up with it. Yes!